after a technical nightmare, which seems to follow you and me around everywhere these days. We're recording.
I'm laughing. People say it to me all the time, you know, because I do a lot of energy work and I teach people how to raise their vibrations and all this type of stuff. And you'd be fully in agreement here. How much computer trouble do we have?
Yeah, and sometimes you just want to, you can spend half your life trying to figure out how things went wrong, so today our conversation should be just click record and everything be as it always was, but it's not the case. So we're vamping it today, as it were.
It's all good, darling. I just allow this stuff. I really do.
Yeah.
I was actually doing a reading just today. We were doing a FaceTime call.
Yeah.
So I had my phone there.
Yeah.
And whatever it was only like about 3 feet from me. I was sitting in my lounge room and I've got a cupboard there with a clock on the top. And it sounded like there was a rat inside this cupboard.
Oh,
like scratching, clawing stuff. Yeah. There's nothing in the cupboard. It's in my house and it's right next to me. But I'm like looking at it like this, and this woman says, "Is your cat climbing the furniture?" And I looked at her and I said, "Can you hear that?" And she said, "Yeah, it's loud." This like scratching noise. And I said, "It's like 3 feet from where I am in this cupboard." So I've opened the cupboard up. There's nothing in there. But, electrical devices always play up with psychics, as you'd be aware of, because we do raise up our energy levels, so we're going on to a different frequency.
Right.
So computers always play up for me. Lights turn off and on, and, people say, "Oh, you've got a ghost in the house," and you say, "No, it's just me doing that again," I saw this interesting thing a few years ago about poltergeists.
Oh, right.
Because they were saying that a lot of children who are going through puberty, when they are energetically aligning their bodies into adulthood, they do create things to move around, like opening and closing cupboards, lights turning off and on, that feeling of claustrophobia around others. So you sense, oh my God, there's someone watching me, that paranoia that comes. Yeah. So it was very interesting that this guy in this documentary that I watched, he actually said that, if ever you do go out to a house where there's a possession or really weird poltergeist type of activity, check out to see if there's a kid there aged between 10 and 15. Because it could be them aligning their energies into who they are in adulthood. Yeah.
Well,
because we can do this.
When I remember when I was of that kind of age, I mean, I had invisible friends. They weren't invisible to me. I did have a couple of creepy experiences, I have to say. They seemed to be a brother and sister that would always be around me when I was alone, but as soon as somebody like my mother come in, they were gone, and they used to scare me sometimes because I'd be in bed at night and they'd be flying around the room. They didn't mean any harm. They just, now I look back, there wasn't an evil energy for it. It was, again, an innocence type of energy coming from, but because I didn't understand it, and because I come from a background that didn't understand it, I was never taught to understand it. So I did the old head under the sheets kind of thing.
The blankets up. Hello. That would be so cool, just putting a little clip together of all these psychics in bed just going, "Oh my God," and pulling up the blankets. Because I did it, you did it, other psychics I know, they did it, you know. We all had that childhood experience where you've got the blankets going up saying, "No, take this away from me. No, don't take this away from me. I've always got to correct it just in case they're listening.
Exactly, because the buggers take everything literal, what you say.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, you know, I mean, that's another point, isn't it? You know, why do they take it literal when, you know, they know our frailties, don't they? They know the society we live in, and they know that we most often use words that we don't necessarily mean. Is it some kind of law on the other side, or what is the reason for this? I mean, this is a dilemma, because I know with my guides, I always have to ask and be specific. If I'm not specific, they won't say, let me put it another way for you. You know, so what's the deal? Right. What's the deal with this? Why it seems that they're stubbornly sticking to, well, if you don't tell me, I'm, you know, going to answer exactly your question and not what you think your question is. Yeah.
I answer that with what happened to me with the $100 million. I had a friend here and she said, you know what, I'm really broke, I need money. And I said, well, why don't we just go for the big one? $100 million right now. So we sat out the back of my house. We did this little, bring us in $100 million. We want $100 million. Thank you. I'm feeling it right now. Oh my God, I'm so excited. There's $100 million in my bank. Right. Guess what happened to me the very next day?
Go on.
I get this email from a prince in somewhere.
Yeah.
Saying, oh my gosh, thank you for being one of my beneficiaries in my will. Yeah. You're getting, guess how much? $100 million. Yeah. And I sat there and I thought, you buggers are playing a game again.
Yeah.
Because it all comes down, you know, they listen to our words, Mike. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
You know, I asked for $100 million. I should have said Australian currency.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Or American dollars, because American dollars would be great for me right now.
Yeah.
You know, but because they are so literal with their words. You know? Oh my God. And it drives me nuts.
Yeah.
Some days.
I mean,
because they really keep going.
So it's like when we do the table tipping and I'm introducing people for the first time, I have to tell them, be specific, because for this first time they can only tap out yes or no, really. And so quite often they don't realise that the question they ask is not a yes/no answer, and it can have. Here is a classic example. This lady asked. Her husband was seriously ill in hospital, and she asked, is he going to be okay? So the table answered yes. Well, of course he is, because he's either going to be okay and survive in this world, or he's going to pass and he's going to be okay because he's in the next one. So, and that was the question. I'm thinking, they know what she meant. What she meant was, is he going to live, and, you know, is he going to be able to walk and be normal again? But Spirit didn't answer that. They just said yes. So I get a little bit frustrated. I used to, but now I've learned to be so specific. And if I don't ask the question correctly, it's now jogged in my mind, you know, Mike, you've got to be more specific with the question.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
So
It's.
I was just going to
carry on, please. Yeah.
I was just going to say that dawned on me probably 2 years ago. Yeah. You know, I've been a psychic medium my whole life, but it was about 2 years ago that I was put into the position where I'm now retired. Yeah. I do this full time now. Yeah. You know, so I've learned in the last 2 years, be specific.
Yeah.
You know, because people don't understand that we do have many, many lifetimes, you know. They don't understand how can a spirit come back even if they reincarnate.
Sure.
That's a question I get. I get questioned that so many times. Oh, if my mum reincarnated, how can she pop in and see me? Because they don't understand that time doesn't exist.
No.
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 You know, so, there's a lot of, obviously there's a lot of things in this that you and I and others will never be able to fathom, you know, because, that's why we're doing this. We're trying to work this out.
Yeah.
We are. We're trying to work this out.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
I had this... Yep.
That I was saying that there was... talking of reincarnation, there was the story that I read about the husband who passed from his wife and came back very, very quickly. She remarried about a year later. I can't remember the details, but he came back as the son. And he told, as he got to about 5 or 6 years age, where he could speak, he told his mum, which was his wife, everything about their past together.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
that's weird. That's weird.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, and I'll take it to an even weirder thing. You can marry someone when you're 20, so you're both 20, right?
Yeah.
When you're 40, your partner dies.
Yeah.
Okay? They reincarnate back to the year when you were born. So now that person is now 40, but it's the same soul.
Yeah.
So, you know, you go through the grieving period because you've just lost your partner. So now maybe you're 42. You think, oh, I'll try online dating. I'll meet some new friends. I'll meet somebody. You meet your husband because he's already reincarnated and he was born the same year as you again.
Yeah.
There's no time. And that's what people can't understand with this.
Yeah.
You know, so, it blows my mind, Mike. Oh, you know, some days I just sit here and I think, wow, this is too much to fathom.
Yeah.
You know, I just sit there and it's like, holy heck.
Yeah.
This is too much to fathom, you know?
Yeah. I mean,
it can do you.
I don't even bother now trying to reconcile all that really is going on, because as you know, we see our spectrum of light that allows us to see everything around us is just 1% of what really is. I mean, walking past me now could be some other life form that's in a different, not different dimension, but parallel, living in the same space as what I am now. I mean, there could literally be a Tyrannosaurus Rex walking past me, you know, who still exists in that reality. Imagine if we could see everything. Well, I think that'd be a great thing myself, but I think it would scare the life out of a lot of people.
Absolutely, darling. You know, but you're right.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it doesn't matter where we live, you know, on the planet, there was something there thousands of years ago.
Yeah.
Whether it be a tree life or, you know, imagine cactuses being 600 feet tall. Yeah. Why don't they get to 600 feet tall? Because we cut them down and we chop them up before they get past like 5 foot tall.
Yeah.
You know, not just your T-Rexes and stuff, but, there's a lot of different animals. Yeah. Did you hear that story about the kangaroo? They found this kangaroo. Oh my God! I think it was up in northern Queensland. This fossilised kangaroo.
I think I did. I see it on your site. Did you post it?
Yeah. I might have, but it's a kangaroo's leg. Yeah. It has it's like our leg. It's got its femur, knee, and then it goes down whatever that calf the bone is. So it has one leg and then a joint with another leg. That's a kangaroo leg, right?
Right.
They found this one bone and it should be only about 2 foot long. Right. But this kangaroo was 6 foot.
Wow.
Now that's just half of its leg. So its legs would have been 12 foot long because it was half of the leg. Right. So they're saying that these kangaroos, you know, our big reds, that's what they're called, the big red kangaroos, they can get to about 7 foot. Right. But they said this one that they found, it would have been 15, 18 feet tall. Wow. And when they found it, there was there was a hole in the bone. So they were analysing you know how they do forensic testing, they'd analyse the depth and they work it, they put in a mould to see what it was. It was a crocodile tooth. But the crocodile itself, now our crocodiles here, the biggest one I've seen is about 30 foot long.
Right.
You've got a crocodile that's probably 80 feet long.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Yeah.
They lived here in Australia. So, I could be sitting here and I call it alternate realities or alternate dimensions or alternate parallel universes.
Yeah.
These things could be walking around my lounge room right now.
Exactly. Yeah.
80-foot crocodiles with teeth like this long.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So thank God we don't have access to that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Thank God we don't have access. Those T-Rexes, they can stay in their own dimension. Thank you.
That's it. Yeah. Don't wish to see them. It does beg the question: can they see us?
Well, why not?
Yeah. Why not?
You and I see spirits.
Yeah.
Hello, come on. You and I both see spirits.
Yeah.
Why isn't it in their reality that they get glimpses of us as well?
Yeah.
So, this big crocodile could be walking along his riverbank and, oh my God, there's Mike fishing. And he goes, oh, he's only tiny, because Mike's only like 6 foot tall,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what.
You're an entree. There you go. You're an entree.
A starter, yeah. Talking to spirits there, I was following you talking about the Slender Man.
Ah, yes.
Now, there is something here. There seems to be some kind of thing going around on the internet that says the Slender Man is an internet invention created by geeks. But I've known about the Slender Man long before the internet came to play. I've also known about the Sandman, the black-eyed children, shadow people.
Yes. Now, you're my generation here.
Right.
We're talking the 70s and the 80s.
Yeah.
These things have been around, okay?
Yeah.
So what's your take on the Slender Man? What do you think he is? Because you've obviously heard what I said about him.
Yeah, I mean, the Slender Man for me is actually somebody. First of all, it's to do with your consciousness. If you are vibrating at the energy to invite the Slender Man to come in, then you will see him. If you're moving into a house that still has retained the Slender Man energy, you're most likely to see him. My experience is that he's not necessarily an evil man. He is a stubborn person. It is somebody that can make you feel awkward because the Slender Man thinks he is above everyone else, not just in height, but has this massive kind of ego. And it can be frightening or scary to some people. He doesn't care. He doesn't have that kind of he has no empathy actually from what I can see. But the Slender Man doesn't hurt you. He doesn't help you. He's just a bloody nuisance actually.
And that's what I said in that video. He doesn't hurt.
No.
Yeah, I actually said he doesn't hurt anyone. He doesn't kill anyone.
No.
He's just observing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So do you think that the Slender Man, you've got people in America, you've got people in Australia, you've got people in Europe who have all seen this tall, slender, black shadow.
Yeah.
Do you believe it's the same shadow, like Archangel Michael, where he can just zap into anywhere?
I think there is a Slender Man that we know and have identified as this is the Slender Man, but I do feel there are other Slender Men of the same energy, but if you look closely, they will not be exactly the same as the Slender Man.
Yes. See, because I've seen about, 20 photos, I'd say,
right,
of what they call the Slender Man.
Yeah.
And I'm talking photos that I can't logically debunk.
No.
There's thousands of photos that you can say, yes, that's a tree, or yes, that's a shadow, so you can debunk them and just flick them ones into the bin. But there are between 10 and 20 photos that you just can't, I sit there and I think, oh my God,
Yeah.
Oh my God. that,
Yeah.
that, but do they all look the same? No.
No.
You know, some are like Slender Man's are
Yeah.
sometimes 8 foot.
Yeah.
Then you've got one that's only 6 foot.
Yeah.
Then you've got one and he's got the hat on.
Yeah.
And then there's one where he doesn't wear the hat.
Yeah.
So that's where I have this belief that it's not the same person. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Correct. I mean,
I
think we have actually identified that one with the hat as the Sandman. So that could be another entity that getting in on the Slender Man's act, as it were. Because you know what people don't realise is, I don't think, is that on the other side, in the spiritual realm or that other dimension, it isn't all roses. You can find yourself in not a nice place, as Robert Monroe from the Robert Monroe Institute, who developed astral projection, he actually said, you know, the overwhelming majority of places are beautiful, and your near-death experience where you meet the loved ones, beautiful, but there are places that are not nice people.
That's right.
You know,
that's right.
And that's important for the balance, the yin and yang, day and night. And
there has to be. Yes, that's right. There has to be the yin and the yang. You know, I'm in a lot of near-death experience groups, and a lot of people say, oh my God, I've just had the worst NDE on the planet. Right. I was in hell. There was fire. There was brimstones. There was people there with axes coming at me.
Yeah.
What the hell did I experience?
Yeah.
I honestly can't comment on that because I didn't experience that with mine. You know, I went to this loving, happy place.
Yeah.
But, you know, we all, what I thoroughly do believe is that heaven is a figment of our imagination, in that it's our perspective of what we believe it to be.
Yeah.
So if you've got somebody who's like, the funny thing, I was watching a show the other night, and it's actually called Lucifer. It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching that, and Lucifer, who's the devil, he was there with this man. He was killed on a boat, and he's just reliving his death over and over again. Right. And Lucifer comes in and he says, oh, don't you realise this is the 268th time that you've done this, where you've been killed?
Yeah.
And he says, what do you mean? And Lucifer says, well, you haven't learnt how to get out of this rut yet.
Yeah.
So I was actually talking to a friend of mine about that, and I said, you know, it is like that record over and over again, like with the movie The Matrix.
Right. Yeah.
There's a scene where Neo, he's sitting there with, oh God, what is the bad guy in The Matrix?
Oh, yeah. Not Mr. Smith.
Yes, he's there with Mr. Smith, and he's in this room, and there's all these computer monitors, but it's all his past recordings, because he's been there so many times.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and it's him reacting to Mr. Smith saying, you know, you've been here so many times. And that's why it's all these recordings of him.
Right.
You know, because sometimes we do play over scenes in our perspective after we pass. Right. And, you know, some people could always say, yes, that is a like a hell until we get out of that and we go to heaven.
Right.
But there must be, because there is yin and yang, up and down.
Yeah.
If heaven's up here, guess what's down here?
Yeah.
You know, it exists.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it really does exist.
Right.
So, whoops. Oh, gosh, what have I done now? Sorry, I'm just playing with my screen here. So, yeah, death, you know, it is a mystery. And it's good that there's people like yourself and me sitting here trying to work this out by researching it, by looking at other stories, by reading other accounts and, you know, debunking photos like of the Slender Man, etc.
Yeah.
So we can make a judgment based on evidence and facts, rather than just saying, oh, you know what happened to me, that must be the only way. You know?
Yeah.
Because there are a few out there that, you know, they think that. But yeah, that, you know, that's, you know, hello, I'm a natural researcher. That's why I go and research this stuff.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
What do you think of the the shadow people, because they're slightly different as well. And you know, typical of Hollywood, they do this preemptive programming. And I saw on the X-Files one show of one of the shadow people. Again, I don't really have an opinion on the shadow people. I think that can be exactly a direct reflection of your own consciousness as well. What do you think?
I've seen a shadow.
Yeah.
It was about 2.5 years ago. Now you've got to remember here, I've seen ghosts and spirits since I was a child.
Yeah.
Okay? They can come through as clear as what you're sitting in front of me, Mike. Yeah. Okay? So I was over at my friend's house, and the bedroom, it was a square, and I had my bed here, so my back's against the wall, and the doorway was on the wall here next to me. At the end of it was the doorway in. Sure. And she left a light on so then I wouldn't get lost in the house if I got up to go to the toilet or get a drink or whatever. And she had a cat. Now, this grey cat was called Smudge.
Right.
I'm highly allergic to cats. So I was trying to keep Smudge out of the bedroom, but he ended up jumping on my bed, and he came and sat right up, like I was lying on my side like this, and he curled up right here. So as I'm listening to him purring, and I'm just sort of, you know, getting to that stage where you could go to sleep.
Right, yeah.
The cat just jumps up. And I thought, what was that about? So I've looked at the cat, and he's looking at the doorway.
Right.
And he's doing this. So I turned over a bit, and it's standing in the doorway.
Right.
It was a black shadow. So as it walks into the bedroom, the cat's watching it, as I'm watching it as well. And it came into so it was standing there. It was because it wasn't moving when I first saw it.
Right.
And it walked into the bedroom. It walked past my bed. And when it nearly got to the other wall on the other side of the room, it disappeared. So there's me. There's the cat.
Yeah.
And then as soon as it disappeared, the cat, because I was looking at the cat, saying, you see this too, darling, the cat turns around, does this, you know how cats walk around in a circle?
Yeah.
Made itself comfortable back in this little hollow between my knees, you know, and went to sleep.
Yeah.
And I'm just there like, that was a shadow figure.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the clearest ones I've ever seen. That would have been about 2.5 years ago.
Right.
So when I got up in the morning, I went and saw Sharon, who I was staying at her house. And I said, Sharon, have you ever seen this black shadow? And she said, no. And I thought, you're lying, little sod. You're lying. You know, you can tell when someone says no.
No.
They go up at the end. That's how you can tell a liar. No. That wasn't, I didn't do that. You can tell they're lying because, you know. Oh, my God. So I said, Sharon, you've got to tell me what's going on here. And she says, it goes into my bedroom, and she's got all crystals hanging down off her windowsill. And at night she closes the windows, obviously. Right. And these crystals, start doing this while she's sitting there watching it. Right. But I said, yeah, but what about the shadow figure? You know, have you ever seen it before? And she said, yeah. And I said, well, has it ever harmed you, hurt you, pushed you over, anything like that? She said, no, it hasn't. It just walks past me and then it disappears, like it happened with me. So, you know, but ultimately you've got to look at the intention of it.
Yeah.
It stood there because it was still when I first saw it, because the cat got up, it was looking at it, and then I turned, so it was still in the same position before it started walking through the bedroom. It didn't hurt me.
Right.
It didn't throw anything at me.
Right.
It didn't pull me off the bed because it was so close to the end of the bed.
Right.
So it didn't harm me in any way.
No.
So its intention wasn't to hurt me.
No.
But it did scare me a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, because I could not make out facial
No.
features.
I was going to say
clothing.
it had no form, just like a blob
no
of
form.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like head, shoulders, arms,
Yeah.
and you could see the legs as it. Well,
Yeah.
I don't even know if I could see legs, tell you the truth, because I saw the head
Yeah.
with the shoulders, but it's all black. It's all filled in.
Yeah.
So it's black.
Yeah.
And it just moved across, and the cat was there looking at it too.
Yeah.
And then as soon as it disappeared, the cat curled up and went to sleep. So how many times has the cat seen it?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
But yeah, it didn't hurt us. Didn't hurt Sharon, who lived there.
No.
You know, I said to her, you know, are you going to move out now? And she said, no.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, it doesn't hurt me. It's okay, you know.
Yeah.
You know, but you've got to look at the intent of these shadow figures.
Right.
Because most times, 9 out of 10 people, they react to it.
Yeah.
You know, oh my God, it's a black shadow. You know, they run and they get on their phone and blah, 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 you can't believe what I just saw. Yeah, and you know, if they ring me, it's like, yeah, and what else? And what else? Please tell me it did something to make you so scared.
Yeah.
But it was a black shadow.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what else happened?
Yeah.
What else happened?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Have you ever performed an exorcism, by the way?
No, I haven't.
No.
I've been asked to.
Yeah.
But can I be honest?
Yeah.
Edge.
Yeah.
Of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely scared, witless about them.
Yeah.
Because, you know, if you're involved with a possession of like a negative energy, it can and will attach to other people around.
Yeah.
You know? And that's probably back to me watching The Exorcist as a child.
Yeah.
You know, what's her name? Lynda Blair.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You know, that movie scared the absolute bejeebies out of me when I first saw it.
Yeah.
Because they can do that.
Yeah.
You know, so you've got to have really good protection.
Yeah.
You've got to have really good guides around you to stop them coming into you.
Yeah.
Because heaven forbid if they come into you, because then it's a hell of a nightmare to get it out of you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, which is completely different to house clearing energies from the house, you know.
Absolutely.
Which is just par for the course in the work that we do.
Yeah. I love it when people ring me up and they say, oh, can you please come over and cleanse my house for me? Yeah, sure, you know. Let me just pack up the sage, pack up the crystals, you know.
Yeah. Pack up my toolbox and...
I'll be over to do the job in a moment, Mrs. Smith.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, it's like ringing a plumber. Yeah, it's like ringing a plumber, isn't it?
Yeah. Ghostbusters.
You know, I love doing it. Yeah, but I absolutely love doing it, you know?
Yeah.
And it's an honour to me when I do go to somebody's house and they've got a resident ghost or whatever living there, and, you know, you communicate with it to you know, it's like causing that assurance with the people that, you know, you're giving them that reassurance when you go there and you say, oh, you've just got this ghost here. Right. And they go, what? You say, no, this guy's actually really nice.
Yeah.
You know, he's really nice. Did you listen to the story the other day about Michelle over at Ipswich?
I started to... Did you speak about it or was it written?
No, I actually did it in a video the other day.
I did see that video, but you'd have to remind me.
Okay. All right, tell a story. Her name is Michelle. Now, she has given me permission to use her story, okay? Right. So, Michelle lives over at Ipswich. If you can imagine a T like that, down on, this is a street and this is a street, and then you've got water. It's water.
Right.
So her house there's a first house here.
Yeah.
I'll just come in closer. And where she lives is the second house.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
So when you're on the front veranda of her house looking onto the street, so it's here looking at the street.
Yeah.
There's a house next door and then it's the water.
Right. Yeah.
So she rang me up and said, oh, my God, every night my bed shakes. it gets lifted up so violently
Right.
that it's not only scratching the floorboards, but it throws me out of the bed.
Oh, geez.
I need help. I need help.
Yeah.
So I went over there, sat on this bed that shakes every night, and instantly this guy came in. His name was John. So John came in, and I said, "Who the hell are you?" Oh, I didn't say it like that. But I said, "Hello, I'm Lynda. I'm a guest of the owner of this house. Do you mind telling me who you are?" And he said, "Yes, I built this house in 1893.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, John. And I said, "Can I ask why you're shaking Michelle's bed every night?" And he said, "Yes, I will tell you. Because my wife had TB, tuberculosis,
Right.
which is a lung disease."
Yeah.
And he said every night he'd have to come in and shake the bed to see if she was still alive.
Right.
So now that Michelle's sleeping in the bed, who's actually quite a large lady, and she's got sleep apnea,
Right.
because of her
Yeah.
Irregular breathing, he's shaking the bed to make sure she's okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So is this really a ghost story that's
Right.
spooky and woo?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or is it really a love story?
Yeah.
Because I call it a love story.
It is a love
really
story.
Is.
Yeah. Yeah. And we have to differentiate. You see, if this was a guide or an angel doing this, instantly our perception would be different, and we'd say, no doubt it's a love story. But because it's somebody who is not of the angelic or guide realms, but somebody that lived there, we say, this is a lost soul, this is earthbound, and so the intention is to tease and it doesn't necessarily mean. There was one story, and this explains it perfectly. This woman would lie in bed, and when she turned the light off, she would just felt like across her legs somebody just put their hands like this across her legs and then go.
Yeah.
And she said, every night it would do it. Every night it would do it. And so the medium who she asked said, well, when it happens next time, turn your light on straight away and see if you can see who it is. So she said, okay, she done it. And immediately she turned the light on, it was a big mouse that ran past her.
Oh!
And so the point I'm making is we have to look for the rational explanation before we get into the supernatural.
Yes.
And then when we do get into the supernatural, we have to remove our perception of this black and white, good and evil, because it don't work like that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. I've got a saying, and it says, like when I'm investigating photos, people say, "Oh, look at this photo, there's a ghost in there." Yeah. I have a saying, if in doubt, toss it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if you've got a photo that you've got to circle and enlarge it to say, "Oh yeah, look, there it is there, that's it." You've got this big circle around it.
Yeah.
Toss it away.
Yeah.
Because it could be anything.
Anything.
So if in doubt, toss it out. Yeah. So that's a good saying that I use because I've analysed probably 5,000 photos.
Right. Wow.
Over the years of people just saying, "Oh my God, is this paranormal?" And you go, "Oh my God, it's they'll send me chair photos.
Right.
And you know how chairs have like wings at the back.
Yeah.
So when you're standing offside with light refractions, it causes a shadow. So it looks like there's someone sitting in the chair.
Right.
But it's actually just a shadow because you've got the side of the chairs there.
Yeah.
Like, "Oh, no, that's my grandmother. It looks exactly like her." And then you say, "Well, isn't it funny that it's the shape of their head? It's the shadow line."
Yeah, yeah.
Because people do not like it at all, Mike.
No.
When they think something's paranormal and then someone comes out and says, "You know what, that's either pareidolia or a shadow."
Yeah.
Or a bug.
Yeah.
Or a bug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the orbs, isn't it? Quite often it's just dust on the lens and the light gives it a particular colour. they're not necessarily all orbs. There's so many different phenomena. It's just the advice I would give people, as I'm sure you would, is first look to see the reality of what it is. You know, can it be rationalized as just something that happens, light, or, you know, the bed shaking, for example? Is there a pipe underneath that suddenly started to vibrate because there was airlock or something?
That's right.
And then move from there, because
That's right.
not everything is paranormal. And even though the veil that separates the two worlds has been lifted and more of this stuff is becoming common, it isn't always the case. And that's what I would say to people. Just, you know, rationalise,
I had this woman that rang me and she said, "Oh my God, I've got a ghost. You've got to come and find out what it is." Yeah. So I went over to a house and, you know, I'm doing the spidey senses throughout the whole house. Not much. And I said, "Well, where do you get all your activity?" And she said, "Oh, it's in the bed. When I'm in bed, I feel this like cold wind come across me. Right. It's like, she said, it's like someone blowing across me in the middle of the night." Right. So I've got this visualization of a ghost sitting there doing this big, you know, like thing across her. Yeah. So I thought, okay, let's try and debunk this. So I got on the bed and I'm thinking, okay. And I said to her, "Which way does the wind come?" And she said, "Oh, they're always standing on this side. There's a window there." Yeah. So I thought, okay, let's check the window. There's this gap right near her head. Right. Like, it's only a little gap. But at night, that wind would come through like 20k an hour. Yeah. And I said, "What I want you to do, tape up that little gap, put some sticky tape or pieces of paper on there, blue tack, fill it in that gap on the side of the window, and ring me if it keeps going." Right. She never rang me back.
Yeah. She was disappointed that it wasn't a ghost.
Well, because some people are so eager, as you'd know, Mike, some people are so eager to want to see it. They want to believe in this stuff, but they won't put in the hard yards to actually learn it and develop it, and then to debunk the obvious non-paranormal activity that does occur. Yes. Yeah.
Good. So, Lynda, what's happening the rest of the week for you so you can tell the people?
Oh my God. Well, I've just done another video today on grounding. Right. I'm doing another one tomorrow on protection, how to protect ourselves in our little cocoon. I'm doing a reading a day for the next 2 weeks. Brilliant. So I'm getting quite busy now with people that just want to know me. It's so humbling, Mike. It really is that. You know, I get in these emails, "Oh, hi, I heard your podcast and I had to reach out. I'd love to get a reading off you." And it's like, oh my God, it's going to be in 2 weeks' time. Yeah. You know, because I only like doing one reading a day, so then I can, I like doing like a thing before and I do a thing afterwards. Yeah. Energy clear out and stuff. So, so I am getting busy. I am trying to work on Psychics Uncensored, this book that I've started. Right. But that's a slow train coming. But it's about 3/4 of the way finished, so I've just got to keep going through that with that. You know, so, you know, the next couple of weeks, I'll need a holiday in a couple of weeks, I tell you, mate. But I'll always make time for you, darling.
Super. Super. Yeah.
I love our conversations.
I do.
I really do.
Yeah, and
I love them.
You know, having a conversation, I hope that the people listening don't see this as question answer. If we have it as a conversation, they can feel part of the conversation. You know? Yeah,
and it makes them think, because then they can comment questions. You know, how many times have you said it, and how many times have I said it? If you've got questions, please comment below, so then it can be discussed. You know, because you're a wealth of information. You've got so many decades of experience doing this, same as me. But, you know, between the two of us, you know, we're looking at, shivers, 100 and, you know, it's over 100 years of experience.
Don't say. Yeah.
I must be like 80 here, mate, Mark, because I think you're only like 20. But you know what I mean?
And that's just this life, not including the last ones.